A venomous snake was about to cross the road when it was run over by a truck and cut in half. However, strangely, after a while, the venomous snake actually climbed up intact and roared at the hit-and-run car. There are also several large trucks with snakes like this. This is the secret experimental island of the Cass group. In order to obtain regeneration genes, they raised many snakes here for experiments. However, the experiment failed, and the two key experimental subjects evolved uncontrollably into the Snake King and Snake Mother, which would expose the truth. The boss decided to destroy all the experimental data and samples. He pressed a button, and two huge needles injected poison into the Snake King. However, the Snake King's evolution was far beyond expectations, and the poison failed to kill him, but made him go crazy. The second plan was that after thousands of degrees of high-temperature flames, the Snake King was safe and sound. At the same time, he also sent out an attack signal, and suddenly thousands of poisonous snakes on the island jumped up. Regardless of whether they were holding a flamethrower or an automatic rifle, facing a large number of snake nests with strong self-healing ability, these people could only become snacks for the venomous snakes. Seeing that the situation was not good, the boss immediately evacuated and ordered the killing of all scientific researchers. At this time, the mother snake had broken through the experimental cabin and rushed out, and these mercenaries were buried in the mouth of the snake one after another. What was even more terrifying was that the Snake King also broke free from the chains. The boss asked two female assistants to stay and clean up the place, while he himself took a plane to leave first. However, the next second, when the two female assistants rushed over to support, they encountered the Snake Mother. Although they were very skilled and brave, they were still killed by the Snake Mother's attack. In the end, the entire experimental base was slaughtered. At this time, a cruise ship passed by on the sea nearby. The people on the ship were reveling, and they had no idea that the next thing would be a venomous snake carnival. The side of the cruise ship was already full of venomous snakes, and the tourists on the ship were unaware of it. The waiter lifted the quilt. He found a poisonous snake playing hide and seek with him. When the tourist was washing, a poisonous snake came out of the water pipe and came into close contact with him. There was a snake nest surging under the cruise ship, and suddenly there was a violent collision. Then, the snake nest launched an attack, and people were bitten to death by poisonous snakes. The tourists were panicked, and there was a wailing on the deck. The cabin was quickly breached by the snake nest. What was more terrifying was that there was a huge mother snake in the snake nest. Qin Yu picked up a fire axe and chopped the poisonous snake. Under his protection, he led several surviving tourists to fight and retreat, and ran all the way to the VIP room. Unexpectedly, after the rich businessman swiped his card to enter, regardless of the lives of others, he locked the door directly, but his fate was worse than anyone else. VIP services had been prepared for him in the VIP room. The Snake Mother was already pressing behind him. Qin Yu led everyone to escape to the engine room at the bottom of the ship, because he found that the Snake Mother had no eyes, and the high temperature and noise in the engine room should be able to interfere with the Snake Mother's perception. Sure enough, the Snake Mother swam past them without noticing that everyone was about to have an accident. Beauty medicine time, beauty medicine time. It was time for a beauty sleep. Qin Yu and Xiaomi risked their lives to cover everyone behind them and they were able to escape. They ran all the way into the cold storage. The temperature here was as low as -25 degrees. Snakes are cold-blooded animals and should not come in easily. At this time, the whole ship was hit violently again, as if there was something terrible under the water. Not long after, the Snake Mother did not come in, but the people in cool clothes could not stand it. If they stayed any longer, they would freeze to death here sooner or later. Finally, a young man opened the hatch and used himself to attract the Snake Mother because he had been bitten by a poisonous snake and would not live long. With the heroic sacrifice of the young man, the group was able to get rid of the Snake Mother temporarily. Now they had to find a way to reach the shore as soon as possible. Fortunately, Xiaomi's father was a captain and he had learned some skills in sailing. Soon they found an island not far ahead, but at this moment, the scary guy who had been lurking in the water finally showed up. Have you seen the video of humans helping turtles clean barnacles? Those dense barnacles are very annoying, but you have definitely never seen such terrifying barnacles. Originally they stood there like stones, but when a woman accidentally hurt them, they immediately stretched out their terrifying tentacles and swallowed the whole person into their mouths. Qin Yu hurriedly told everyone to run away, but they were not attacked. The barnacles seemed to have a clear target. It turned out that they were giant bloodthirsty barnacles. They were only particularly sensitive to the smell of blood, and only injured and bleeding creatures would be attacked. Looking at the terrifying huge tentacles in front of him, Qin Yu came up with a bold plan. Just last night, their cruise ship was attacked by a snake nest, and finally the Snake King appeared in person and entangled the entire cruise ship. Qin Yu asked everyone to board first. He got on the lifeboat and left, sprinkled fuel all over the ship, and then blew up the entire cruise ship. Although Qin Yu was lucky to escape death, he also knew that the Snake King was not dead and would come back sooner or later. Then this horrible bloodthirsty barnacle will be their only way to deal with the Snake King. This island was the original secret experimental base, and the Snake King was born here. There were a lot of weapons and food left in the base. They thought they could have a good rest for a night, but they didn't expect the Snake King to launch a sneak attack that night. In order to save Qin Yu, the good brother Dazong became the Snake King's dinner. The situation was urgent, so they immediately set out to deal with the Snake King, first in the woods. Although the trap set by Jason between the logs cannot kill the Snake King, it can injure the Snake King and make it bleed. Then Qin Yu drew 2 bottles of blood from himself, which was the bait for the bloodthirsty barnacles. Everything was ready. Jason began to seduce the Snake King, and the Snake King was successfully led into the trap and then ran towards the planned route. At this time, Qin Yu and the long-haired man were preparing to meet the long-haired man, but he was suddenly attacked from behind. It turned out that he was Dr. Q who worked for the boss at the time, and this Snake King was his great masterpiece. After the laboratory was destroyed, he continued to track the Snake King. He didn't want his great achievements to be destroyed, and in the end he even contributed himself to the Snake King. The Snake King continued to pounce on Chin Yu. Chin Yu threw blood bottles while running, and the bloodthirsty barnacles woke up one after another after smelling the blood. Success or failure depended on this one move. The Snake King fell into a group of barnacles. After being hungry for so many years, he finally encountered a large barnacle, which rushed to suck the Snake King's flesh and blood. At first, the Snake King wanted to break free, but a hero could not stand up to the crowd, and an elephant could not fight an ant. In the end, another generation of Snake Kings died in the northwest.